What up? What up? What up? Welcome to the Live Game, episode 78. This is the average man's perspective on football. I'm your co-host Marcus. Joining me in the panel tonight is Herman. Say what up, Herman.
Hey.
Next up, we got Brian. Say what up, Brian.
Thank you for joining us.
And then we got Mark. Say what up, Mark.
Good evening.
Before we get started, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, you can also watch on Facebook and our Facebook group, The Live Game. We're also on Twitter at The Live Game 3. And you can also catch us on the Instagram at the official Delay of Game. So there was a lot going on in free agency. So the last time we was on here 2 weeks ago, a whole lot. A lot of people were busy. I should have asked us before the show started, but who's hosting it?
I am.
Herman's hosting it. Herman's hosting. Go ahead, Herman.
Best producer in the world, I swear.
Yeah, just let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Wow. So,
But it's fitting you hosting because you was on that. You was on that free agent stuff all.
I know. I wish I could remember all of it now, man.
Just go back to the Facebook post.
Yeah, I know. It's been a lot, but we're not going to be able to touch on all of it. But we're going to give y'all some rundowns of some of the signings this last 2 weeks. We're going to do some hot topic stuff, some of the things that we want to talk about that we thought stood out. And then, of course, we'll do our final thoughts and everything like that. So we appreciate y'all watching the show tonight. Just sit back and enjoy the ride. So let's get to these some of these free agency signings, and if there's some other ones that you guys stood out to y'all that I didn't list, when I get to the end of my list, y'all can go ahead and put those out there. So the Chiefs released two of their starting tackles, their left and right tackle, Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz. But they did replace their left tackle with excuse me. Had it on here. Thuney, I think was his name. He signed to a big deal for the Chiefs, so they started to rebuild their offensive line. The Texans signed running back Mark Ingram to a 1-year deal worth $3 million. So they're trying to get their backfield going. Buffalo re-signed their linebacker Matt Milano. He signed to a 4-year deal, $44 million contract that included $24 million guarantees. The Saints did some salary cap clearing and cut Janoris Jenkins and Emmanuel Sanders. And as expected, Drew Brees retired.
Oh, that's a big one. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a big one. Drew Brees retired. Jameis Winston also re-signed with the Saints for a 1-year deal, $12 million. And Taysom Hill also re-signed a contract, or did a contract extension.
That's a big one.
Yeah, but it was like a 6-year contract that voided down to 2 years, I believe it was. And I don't have the numbers on that one. So, but it's just a bunch of inflated money.
Some good prep right there.
Yeah. You're welcome. I forgot about his contract, actually. That's what it was. One of the biggest deals was the Trent Williams deal.
Yeah.
He signed a 6-year, $138 million deal with $55 million guaranteed. 30 of that $55 million was a signing bonus. So he becomes the highest paid offensive lineman in NFL history. Considering his age, I think he's 30.
That's what I was wondering. How old is he, Herman?
He's 33, I believe.
Let me look it up real quick.
He had to have been in the league 10 years, hasn't he?
Yeah, but he had what, a year off last year from.
He'll be 33 in July.
Yeah, not last year before last, right?
Yeah, last year he played. Yeah, he played last year.
He played last year.
Yeah,
but he had a year off before that. So it's risky, but again, the salary cap is a unicorn. That's what I call it anyway, because teams know how to work their way around it, and especially with the cap going up in the next couple of years because of the TV contracts. It's definitely not going to hurt them. He could probably play 4 years. If he stays healthy, he can play four years. So. Kenny Galladay, who was probably the most notable free agent wide receiver, he wound up signing with the Giants on a 4-year, $72 million deal with $40 million total guaranteed. So looks like the Giants are trying to, put some offensive weapons around Daniel Jones, and they should have, Saquon back next year. So it's going to be interesting.
Also, they reported they also signed Kyle Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph, that was the tight end, that they signed. So they're trying to build on offense.
They just signed a corner too.
I don't know, did they?
Thought they just signed a cornerback. Let's go look at delayed game. I'm sure Herman.
Yeah, I know. It was so. It was just so many signings. It was almost impossible to keep up with it. And I'd still be reading on the rundown if they signed Adoree Jackson. Thank you, Darian.
Yeah.
So he was actually one of the top corners out there to go get. So, but again, it was a lot of signings. We're not going to try to go through all.
Who's your biggest surprise signing?
Pittsburgh signing Juju. For another year.
for me, it was Andy Dalton getting signed by Chicago.
Ooh, the Bears.
That was big.
It wasn't big. It was surprising.
That wasn't surprising. They needed somebody.
It felt like they were reaching. It really felt like reaching.
But you know what, though? Look at it like this. And the Bears, the Bears actually, that's one. The Bears just signed Damian Wilson today, actually, for the Kansas City running back.
Yeah.
Damian Williams.
So the Bears got to the playoffs with Trash Biscuit. Okay. So Andy Dalton, he's better than Trubisky. He is. He's better than Trubisky. You got to admit that.
I can admit that. I'll say yes.
So there's no reason why. Now they have a good run game. They should have a good run game. They hopefully the receiver. I guess he's not gonna hold out. He's gonna play under the franchise tag. But they're not in a bad shape. They're no worse off than they were last year.
I would agree with that.
So looking at that,
What about you, Brian? Who was your biggest surprise?
I don't know. I wasn't really surprised that I can really think of that jumps out at me.
I was surprised, but even though Herman just said it's not really that
much. Yeah, your boy,
Fitzmagic?
Quarterback. Yeah, Fitzmagic. That was surprising.
Oh, that was a shocker.
That was a
shocker too. Yeah.
I forgot what I was about to say. Now I was also surprised. Oh, I was surprised that Taysom Hill got that big ass contract.
Yeah, but
the whole thing is voidable.
Yeah,
it's like voidable. They just cut him next year, and it doesn't hurt him.
Yeah, the whole contract means nothing.
Yeah. So you think there's going to be competition?
Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit. Where? Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit in a little bit.
Another surprise for me was the Rams signing Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, that wasn't really surprising.
That was dumb.
Like I don't think so. I'm gonna say they ain't paying that much, dude.
No, of course they didn't. But why bother?
He'll get a long touchdown, one long touchdown,
and that's it.
Hey, that might be a winning. You might need that. That might be the one game that get you in the playoffs. He'll get you one long touchdown.
Man,
he won't get you nothing else. He'll get you one long touchdown.
So to me, that's a waste of time. It's just dumb. Like the dude, if he doesn't get hurt in training camp, don't even bother playing in training camp. And no preseason.
We forgot. Trubisky getting signed by Buffalo.
Yeah,
that was a surprise.
That was another dumb.
That was surprising. That was surprising.
Why is it dumb? He's not going to start.
Right, that's the whole point. For him, you would think he would want to go somewhere.
Yeah, where he could have a chance to start. Absolutely.
Yeah, where somebody who has an aging quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think there's that many suitors out there for Trubisky. He probably was going to ride the bench no matter where he went.
We can agree. I think we all agree that
where was he going to start at?
He wasn't going to start nowhere. But what we're saying is he could have went somewhere Washington. Like Atlanta or Washington.
Start in Washington.
He wasn't going to start in Washington.
But look, he could have went somewhere like Atlanta.
Where Heineke's better than Trubisky.
It's like
Heineke's better than Trubisky.
Yes, and so is Fitzmagic.
No.
It's like you know what? It's like he went to Buffalo.
Better than Trubisky.
It's like he went to Buffalo. You knew he's going to be a backup to Allen. It's like he signed up to be a backup. Well, I would think he would want to compete.
But I do agree with you. If he came to Washington, he probably had a chance. He got no chance in Buffalo.
I'm not reading those stats, Darian. Dalton's better than Trubisky.
What's that? He's texting to you?
Yeah. So last year, Trubisky 10 games, 2,055 yards, 16 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and 93.5 passer rating. Okay, and Dalton 11 games, 2,170 yards, 14 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 87.3 passer rating. Dalton's better because he has more experience.
So wait, so Darren's arguing that Trubisky is better than Dalton?
I think that's what that text means. I guess.
Verify for us, Darren, because I know you know better than that.
I think he's just trying to say that it's not that big of a difference. I'm hoping.
I don't know.
Because Trash Bisky is no.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, the reason why Dalton was successful in Dallas last year had nothing to do with. I think less to do with him and more to do with the defense, and just it was a bad team.
And the line, yeah.
Yeah, the line.
So
I mean, he had a line and some good defense.
But I still feel like Trubisky should have went somewhere with an aging quarterback, so he could have had a chance to start, whether it be injury or be groomed to be better and start.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think he would.
But that's what made that signing so weird or such a shocker. So
what about the Patriots? Did any of those signings shock you?
Well, we're getting ready to talk about the Patriots now.
I mean, they did so much.
Hey, what other top wide receiver?
Oh, yeah.
You know what, y'all? We should have a rundown which tells us how the show goes.
Yeah, somebody should look at it, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we right now we just we free falling right now. We just spitting.
No,
yeah, I mean, we have topics
because I keep jumping and stuff. And
right,
because that's pounded.
Yeah. Oh, we got to touch on this
got?
too. Sorry, the Bucks re-signed. Did we talk about that?
They
basically re-signed everybody except for Leonard Fournette,
and not Antonio Brown.
And they added Stu.
Yeah, he has not re-signed.
Two other veterans we're going to talk about. Will Fuller signing with Miami, and then Cardinals Patrick Peterson signing with the Vikings, Minnesota Vikings. I thought that was interesting too.
Yeah, the Fuller one definitely was. If he can stay healthy, that's going to be a good weapon for Tua for that offense. But they said they asked him, and he said he signed a 1-year deal so he can prove his worth in the league. So a lot of these players are taking these 1-year deals, so they want to cash in next year.
Is that what it is? Because there's a lot of 1 year.
Yeah, things will probably be more back to
normal. Being so low this year.
Mm-hmm. And things are probably going to jump back to normal. I mean, places are opening up more now with the vaccine and stuff. They're expecting it to be back to normal between next year and then after that. All right, so one last news topic, and we'll let Marcus, he wants to touch on this one. And this was a little bit of a surprise, I think, to a lot of us, but Dan Snyder is buying out the minority owner stake in the WTF team. So
that is not what you typed out. Oh, that's not what I put. Washington football team is what I put.
The WTF team, that's what I said.
Yeah, it says WTF. Definitely says WTF.
WFT.
So Marcus, how you feel about that? No Jeff Bezos.
You already know I feel.
You say Jack or Jeff?
Jeff. He said Jeff.
I said Jeff.
Okay.
I mean, you already know how I feel about it. Like, we were talking before this show. This dude, they should call him Teflon Don. I mean, he's been in trouble all this year, half of last year. Basically all of last year too, but almost a year and a half he's been in trouble, and it seems like he's just going to skate by. I guess all the investigations, I guess they're like internal police investigations when the police do wrong. We found no evidence wrong. Yeah, no evidence of anything going wrong. I don't know how you escaped all this. But yeah, I mean, I've just resigned myself that because Daniel Snyder is not that much older than us. I just resigned myself to the fact that I will never see a Super Bowl, watch football team in a Super Bowl again in my lifetime, pretty much, So, I mean, I'm not happy about it at all. I was hoping, they do a force out. Like, I mean, remind me, what did the Carolina Panthers owner do that they forced that dude out of his team? That
it was some racist stuff with him. I think, wasn't it?
He had a sexual harassment
sexual stuff too.
Yeah.
Well, I would encourage someone to go out there and get Dan Snyder saying the N-word on tape, so we can just go ahead. so we can just go ahead and get this fool out of on the team or something. Because I don't know how.
And it's crazy too. You're right, because there was like sexual harassment, like allegations from the girls. Remember we were talking about he had that one girl. He was trying to pimp her at the little party or what have you. So.
And this all just kind of gone away.
It's kind of amazing.
So I was saying, I felt like, I like when I forgot what it was. Who do we have? We had a black woman to do what now? I forgot what it was for.
Was she public affairs
or something? And we had a black president. I said, I'm happy for both of them, but I kind of felt like he was doing that to get, just to get himself out of trouble, And apparently, it worked. I guess he did enough, and probably greased some palms and got himself out of trouble. Was able to hold on to the team, which I think most Washington football team fans would.
Just real quick, off topic.
He free?
What does Marcus's name say?
Washington Delay of Game Host.
I mean, did he change the name of our show to Washington Delay of Game Host, or?
Well, we are located in the Washington D.C. metropolitan area.
Yeah, but you live in Virginia.
It's a play on word. So the Washington football team, their headquarters is in Virginia.
So now we're a Redskin team. I mean, are we a Redskin show? What are we doing here?
I am the Washington Left Game host. They got nothing to do with y'all.
Yeah, just let him have it.
It's a play on word. Okay, at Brian T. Holly Sr. on Twitter. Is that your name?
My name. It's my name.
That's not your name. And Herman D. That's not your name.
Helen did not name you Washington Delay of Game host. Okay? You did not.
First of all, let me give my mother government name on live broadcast. Okay, Lucille.
I'm sorry. You're right. Miss Helms, Mr. and Mrs. Helms. My fault.
I'm gonna show this broadcast.
Okay. Now
I'm never coming over the house again.
Ooh, okay. All right. So look, let's get into now. Marcus has ranted about Snyder, but look, in the NFL, the only way you lose a team, I think the one dude lost the team because he was gambling, and that was before gambling was. That was the 49ers guy, Eddie DeBartolo.
DeBartolo, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Richardson for the Panthers because he had the racist thing and the sexual harassment thing. And then Dan Snyder just hasn't got caught up enough yet. Like Darren just said, he's like El Chapo. He just doesn't get into trouble. So
I just don't see how. I mean, he was in so much trouble last year. I mean, they were so much trouble.
We just knew he was going to go.
I just knew he was going.
It started when he changed the name, and then he got rid of all the cheerleaders. They ended the cheerleading program.
We got a dance team now.
with men.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, he's doing whatever. Whoever his PR people are. And if you notice, like, they came out with a story about him buying up the minority stuff, but at the same time, the team is promoting, hey, fans, help us name the team. Did you notice that's coming out, too, at the same time? So they're kind of like trying to brush you past that buying a minority stake out part.
I actually want to keep the Washington football team. I like that now.
You might as well. I mean, what's the point?
Good.
So.
I'm good. I like that.
I think they're gonna keep it for one more year. Sell out all the material they got for it.
Yeah, they'll have to name before they change the name. Mm-hmm. But you never know. They might just keep it. I mean, they might be. WTF.
The side note, we don't really cover this type of thing, but the EA Sports is bringing NCAA football back.
Yeah.
Anybody out there? I thought I'd put that out there.
All you Madden and all you PS5s and Xbox One.
Because I can't get one. I don't know where they at. When the PS5.
You ain't lying. You are not lying.
Y'all better switch over to Xbox.
Can't get those either.
You could. I think they're more readily available than the PS5s are. I think, but maybe. Anyway, all right. So, Marcus, you done ranting?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Let's move into our topics for the week. We're going to start off. We talked about the Saints previously. So, Drew Brees did go ahead and retire. We all kind of knew that was coming, and he's going to take that NBC broadcasting job. And the Saints seem to.
Is he going to? I heard he was going to Sunday Night Football. Is that true?
Saturday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football.
What's that?
He's Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football. You meant.
It's Sunday.
He's not necessarily going to be on the call. He's going to be not in the booth. He's going to be with the with Tony Dungy and all them. I think. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. And doing like the interviews and stuff like that. But So, the Saints, they didn't go out and really, go after any free agent quarterbacks. They re-signed interception king Jameis Winston and
Mr. 30 for 30.
Yeah, and Taysom Hill, whatever you want to call him. So my question,
Tim Tebow Jr.
Yeah, my question I pose to you guys is, who should start for the Saints? Should it be Winston? Should it be Hill? Or should they possibly, if something crazy happens in the draft, should they draft a quarterback and start that person? Let's start you off, Brian. What you think?
I think that I'm sorry. I think that Taysom should be the same quarterback that he was last year, where he just comes in for the little gadget plays and the little runs and the little sparks. I think that you give what his name just jump out of my head.
Winston.
Jameis Winston.
Thank you, Jameis. I think you give Jameis the reins. I think you give him a chance. I think under Sean Payton, I think he'll bring down those interceptions. I think the offense that they got is potent enough where it's not all on him to make plays. I'm trying to think about who their tight end is.
Cook.
They just lost.
Cook left.
They just lost Cook.
That means they don't have one then.
That's the only kind of flaw I see in the ointment right now. But you gave him the year to learn behind Drew Brees. I think he brings more to the table than Drew Brees could do in the last couple of years. So I say go ahead and give him a shot. Let him try. Again, bring Taysom in for the little gadget plays to keep the defense off tilter, and try to run it back.
Marcus?
Earlier this year, this question was asked when Drew Brees got hurt, and I said Taysom Hill, but now I'm going to go ahead and switch it to Jameis Winston. Hopefully, sitting there for a year under Sean Payton and under Drew Brees, he can keep that under control. And I still say that a lot of those interceptions last year. Okay, so
year before last. Yeah.
Oh, the year before last. Okay, some of it was him, and I'm just reading this now. His first pass in the NFL was a interception for a touchdown.
Yeah, pick six.
Yeah, was a pick six. But also, I still say it had a lot to do with what's their base coach's name?
Sean Payton.
Or risk it, no biscuit.
No, Tampa Bay's coach.
Yeah. Risk it, no biscuit.
Bruce Arians.
Yeah. I believe a lot of those interceptions had to do with the offense. You saw how Tom Brady struggled at first, and he threw a lot of picks. And then once he was able to, get the offense under control and took over, all that went down, and of course he won a Super Bowl. So I believe out of Bruce Arians' system, under Sean Payton for a year, under sitting behind Drew Brees for a year, he probably learned a lot. I mean, it's going to be good to see, what happens. But if he can match anything like he's done in the past, he was great in college. He's been a decent NFL quarterback. And the last year in Tampa Bay, if it wasn't for those picks, he threw like what 5 hours.
He led the league in passing.
Yeah,
led the league in passing. Like I said, if he just get those interceptions under control, which I believe Sean Payton will do, I believe Sean Payton is a dude to get those interceptions under control. I think he'll be fine. I think that the Saints might be a contender this year. It's Drew Brees is going to be. Of course, he's one of the greatest of all time. It's going to be a drop off, but they could be a contender. He's a good quarterback. He has the arm power. He has the strength. He can do it. Just got to get them interceptions under control. That's it. That's his biggest flaw. If he, like I said, sitting a year on the Sean Payton learning, we'll see.
Mark?
The question to me is going to probably be is Sean Payton going to let him have a true competition battle, in the offseason to see who's going to win it.
I don't think it's going to be a battle.
I think Winston is more the true drop back passer, more so than Taysom Hill is. Taysom, like you said, Taysom Hill, he goes to the tight end room. He goes to the wide receiver room. He go back to quarterback. He's all around the places. I think you keep him as a gadget guy and just leave it that. I think if Winston put in the work that we know he's possibly doing with Sean Payton, I think he can cut them interceptions down. And I think the key thing too is going to be able to protect him, keep the pocket solid, keep everything up front for him. I think he'd be all right. But I think being a true drop back passer is going to benefit for this offense and do well for them. So with that, I'm gonna probably have to say Winston as far as being the starting quarterback. But we all know running this gadget offense. I mean, Hill he runs too upright. He's gonna get tagged.
He's a big dude, though. He's a big dude.
He gonna get tagged one of these days, and he ain't gonna be running it too good and too straight after that. So
he ain't bigger than Cam. I mean, you don't want to see Cam running.
Right.
Yeah, but he has a different style of running than what Cam does.
True. True.
Well, my opinion, I think that it doesn't even matter. They could start a rookie, they could start Winston, or they could start Hill. The Saints need a quarterback.
You're talking about a former first round pick and a Heisman Trophy winner, man.
Yeah, and he is trash. Okay. A lot of the picks that Winston throws, and I kind of was thinking about what you said, Marcus, about the offense. Nah, Winston throws some of the dumbest picks that you could ever see. Sometimes it's like he just can't get it out of his mind to not make that dumb throw. And you
don't think Sean Payton can
no, you can't coach stupid. you can't, man. You just can't. The Saints right now, if they started a rookie quarterback, they would be in the same boat if they get one in the first round that they would be if they started Hill or Winston, in my opinion. So they're just out there right now without a true succession plan to a Hall of Fame quarterback. They've kind of fallen into that trap that you see teams fall into, like when Dallas fell into it with Troy Aikman left. Who else lost a free agent? I mean, lost a Hall of Fame quarterback and didn't have.
Well, I can only think it's
Miami for a long time. Miami
for the longest time.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
I can only think of two teams that did have a backup, have a succession plan in place: Green Bay and San Francisco.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But that's what I said. They've fallen right into that trap. So, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter who they start. And the Saints won't be a contender this year because they had to do too much cap cutting. They had to cut quality players just to get under the cap. So I see them as starting a rebuild. I think they will take a quarterback in the draft. I wouldn't be surprised if they wound up starting a rookie quarterback at some point this season.
What pick they got? They got a late.
They're probably in the teens. I would think they're in the teens.
I think they're.
So that's my opinion on that one. So, but we'll see. It's all.
They got 28. They picked 28.
28? No way. They can't be 28. They didn't make the playoffs.
Round one, pick 28.
They weren't that deep into the playoffs, were they?
I'm just playing with the Saints.
They lost the first, they lost the
wild card, right? That usually puts you about,
I think,
18 to 20.
Well,
maybe they traded some picks or some dumb stuff.
Maybe they did. Maybe they must have traded some picks or something because that seems a little high.
Yeah, round one, pick 28. Then round two, pick 60. So yeah, I think they yeah.
That's crazy. They shouldn't. Usually, when you get bounced in the wild card, you don't pick that late in the draft. That's weird. Okay.
28 is like Super Bowl or
yeah, that's how it feels. Like yeah. So all right, so that's that with the Saints. We're gonna see what happens, but what did I say? They're about to be like Denver. Yep. Denver. That was the other team that fall into that rut. But I think, to me, which was a shocking move, the Patriots re-signed Cam Newton to a one-year deal close to $14 million. And then they went on the shopping spree of free agency.
They spent more in that first day of free agency than they spent in all of free agency last 10 years.
I'm going to run it down for y'all real quick. Hunter Henry, 3-year deal, $37.5 million deal, $25 million guaranteed. Jonah Smith, 4-year deal, $50 million deal, $31.25 million guaranteed. Devon, I don't know how to say his last name. 2 years, $16 million, $9 million guaranteed. Matthew Judson, Matthew Judon, 4-year, $56 million, $32 million guaranteed. Jalen Mills, 4-year, $24 million, $9 million guaranteed. Henry Anderson, 2-year, $11 million. Kendrick Bourne, 3-year, $22 million. Nelson Aguilar, 2-year, $26 million. Dietrich Wise, he re-signed on a 4-year, $30 million deal with $10 million in guarantee. So that was all the shopping that the Patriots did.
How many tight? I thought another tight. Did you say both tight ends?
Yeah, two. Henry and Smith. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Jonas Smith. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think of the Patriots and their spending spree? Do you think that this is going to return them back to glory, or, I mean, what do you think? Same old Mr. Playoffs, or not same old, but Mr. Playoffs again like last year. What's your opinion, Mark? I'll let you start this one.
I thought Bill had to make up for his inability to really draft the last couple of years by going this free agency this hard and just. I mean, I think what they acquired is going to be pretty nice for them. Like you said, I think the Cam signing was really a surprise. Looking at the
disaster it was last year.
Yeah. Coming off the not really being able to practice and so forth. So I think getting a full year for him to get under that wing and get the playbook down right thoroughly, I think that may be all right for him. I'm sure they look and see at what Tom did over there. Tom went shopping and got some free agents in Tampa Bay, and he figured he can do the same thing that Tom did and get a championship in New England. I think time is going to tell whether or not this is going to be good for him. But what they got, I think the biggest key too was getting Nelson Aguilar. I think he helps out a lot as far as the wide receiver is concerned. Because if it wasn't for Alex Smith, he might have been the comeback player of the year, to be honest.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but Aguilar is trash to me.
Who isn't trash? I mean, you just have a list of
Aguilar is trash, man. He had one decent season with the Raiders. Let's go back to the Eagles. Mr. Drops. Okay.
He couldn't catch a cold.
Exactly. Brian, what you think about the Patriots in this spending spree?
I like what they did. I think that they've changed this offense to be more Cam friendly, and not only that, but any quarterback friendly. I was listening to Sports Talk earlier, and they were talking about how difficult it is to decide on defense what you want to do when it's a 2 tight end set, because you either have to bring in linebackers or more corners. You bring in linebackers, and if the linebackers can't cover, with the two tight ends they got now, they're going to get scorched. You try to bring in smaller corners, it gives them the opportunity to run the ball, which is what they want to do. So it gives them a lot of flexibility with this 2 tight end set that they've got going on. And like Mark said, with Aguilar, being able to go deep, and open up the field, you can have some more explosive plays depending on how well Cam, starts throwing the deep ball, because that's not his true forte. But I like what they did. I think it's going to give them a chance to be more competitive. I think if they have this better defense, like not last year but the year before, I think they'll be in a lot more of these games, and I think they'll be able to eat clock with this offense. So I like what they did. I think it's going to give them a chance to be a lot more successful than they were last year.
And you know what? One other thing I want to add on to it. You notice they did not go out and get another quarterback or veteran as of yet. So they still got what's his name, Stidham as the backup.
Yeah.
Cam's gonna keep the job. I mean, he basically pretty much gave him the keys to it for right now.
Yeah, I would agree. I would think they had to definitely start Cam so he can get a full training camp this year.
Yes.
Marcus, what you think about all their moves?
I mean, to me, I think we said this in the chat. To me, it's the and Mark he mentioned a little bit. It's the Tom Brady effect. I mean, you can't have all the success you used to have, and you don't even make the playoffs. You let a team you used to basically wipe your butt with the Buffalo Bills coming in and take over the division. While
with
Tom
Brady
who?
With who? MVP who?
Josh Allen.
There you go. All right.
MVP candidate Josh Allen.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't a candidate. For sure.
No.
Well, in our minds, he was.
Yeah, y'all's minds.
In our hearts and minds, he was. But like I said, he had to do something. You can't.
Herman wanted Russell Wilson. So how well did Russell get in that conversation? So.
Be quiet. He's not talking to you right now. He talked already.
So yeah,
so petty.
He had to make some serious moves. Like I said, the biggest shock. I was surprised Cam came back. I just knew Cam was gone. Like Herman said, it was pretty much a disaster last year. But I can see they're trying to build around that. They definitely did more for Cam than they ever did for Tom Brady in the last couple of years. I mean, it's no wonder why he left. They did a whole lot. They got some wide. They got 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends.
Come on, man. These wide receivers, they got it. Come on.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, but it's like somebody alluded in the chat. They're trying to do the Hernandez Gronkowski thing.
Yeah, definitely with the tight ends.
And that definitely can work to Cam's advantage. Good tight ends can pull you out of a lot of mess. I mean, look at that's basically all Lamar throws to is to tight ends.
So
with Cam, that's what Greg Olsen is like the highest receiver in Cam's that Cam is thrown to as like the most yards and touchdowns.
Oh, really? True. Yeah. So so he should love Henry and I forget his name.
Janu Smith.
Yeah. So do I think it'll be successful? I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, Buffalo is still there.
Miami's coming.
Hey, Mark. Hey. How you doing?
Hey.
Y'all terrible. You threw my whole thought process.
No, she did.
Did you say hi, Miss Parker, or did she say hi, Mark? What did she say?
Damn well. My name ain't no Miss Parker. But well, like I said, so with Buffalo in the mix now, they had to do something because it's not gonna be a cakewalk anymore. Like Herman said, Miami might be able to come up, even though they're not looking like they're liking Tua that much, and they had to do something. We'll see. I definitely like their chances better now than I did before free agency started. And also, I don't know if he's going to fall as far down, but they're talking about the Patriots might go after Matt Jones, Alabama's quarterback. So
I don't think he'll be there.
I don't think he'll be there either. But but if he's there,
the way the draft goes though, stuff starts happening.
Yeah, so. But if he's there, I heard that Belichick is definitely thinking about picking him up, and that will be something he would do. Him and Saban are real good friends. They talk a lot. So be on the lookout for that. But we'll see. I mean, unless Buffalo just go, has it's not even a sophomore. Well, I call it a sophomore slump if they had such a good year this year. Then you still got to worry about them. We'll see. That'll be an interesting game. I can't wait to see that first game between Buffalo and New England to see how that plays out. But like I said, before free agency, I'm a lot more optimistic for them now than I was before free agency started, and I am interested to see what they do in the draft. I'll be very interested.
So I mean, it was definitely interesting to see the moves they made. I liked some I didn't. Obviously, I didn't like the Nelson Aguilar signing. I feel like if you want to get Cam another weapon, you could have got a better receiver. We'll see. Like you said. But the one thing that the Patriots are up against is history. So let me just name these teams off. Teams that have spent the most money, most guaranteed money in free agency over the last few years have not fared well when it comes to the playoffs and getting to the Super Bowl. In 2018, the Jets spent $105 million. They missed the playoffs. The Bears spent in 2018, the Bears spent $102 million. They lost in the wild card round. In 2016, they made the playoffs, but the Super Bowl, no, they didn't even sniff it. 2016, the Giants spent $107 million, and they lost in the wild card round. Last year, 2019, the Jets spent $131 million in guaranteed money, and we know they missed the playoffs.
It's the Jets.
And then the Dolphins last year, they spent $147.2 million and missed the playoffs. So
they don't have the pedigree. None of the teams have the pedigree that Belichick and the Patriots have.
This is just in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. If it probably goes back further.
But like I said,
So,
I remember one time the Eagles tried to buy a Super Bowl and they were terrible.
mm-hmm.
And I also remember another team of somebody, above me, spending a bunch of money on a bunch of free agents. And
they did that for a few years. But
also that team in Texas, they've done that a couple times.
Not like
no.
But
not as much as
we may waste money on one, but not a bunch. And we'd have wasted some money on some wide receivers. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, definitely. So they're fighting history with this. It's that, and we'll talk a little bit, I guess, later too about free agency stuff. But I just don't know. I didn't like the Cam re-signing for Cam. I felt like
where else was he going to go? Nobody was looking for Cam. I think if they had to sign him, I don't think Cam would have played.
They may not have, but somebody may have signed him as a backup. But I just didn't like it for Cam because he took a beating last year. I feel like they didn't have weapons, but they did. Now that they've put the weapons around him, I think it looks better. Definitely looks better for him. And I'm sure that he probably knew what their plans were, or I'm sure they may have shared it with them. But we'll see. I mean, like y'all said, Buffalo is they're not relinquishing the division. And I'm still on that Dolphins bandwagon. I'm definitely still on that Dolphins bandwagon. So
even with Tua,
yeah. And then when you take the whole makeup of the AFC, they're not guaranteed a wild card spot because the AFC has got a lot of strong teams out there. You got the Colts; they're going to be right there again. Tennessee's going to be right there. Of course, Kansas City. All your division winners from last year. Who else? Maybe the Raiders,
And I mean, our division put in 3.
Yeah, and I almost forgot about the AFC North. I mean, the Steelers ain't gonna do nothing, but well, when Haskins starts, then the Steelers. But
didn't the Dolphins just sign a quarterback too?
Yeah, they signed Brissett.
Oh,
They signed Brissett. So I mean, it's a lot of teams just besides their division that they got to look at. Like right now, even with all these free signings, I got them third in their own division. Yes, I have them third in their own division behind Buffalo and Miami. Call me crazy, whatever, but that's how I see it right now. Because everybody's saying Cam, give him a year, whatever. But what if Cam don't bounce into what they what he used to be now that he has some weapons? So
does he have to be all that stellar now that he has some weapons?
He has to be a little better than what he was last year.
He definitely has to be able to get the ball. I mean, he had more rushing touchdowns than passing touchdowns.
Yeah,
that's not hard. He was so bad last year. That's not hard. I mean,
that's true, but. And then, I mean, their defense is going to be there. I mean, they're getting
and all those opt-outs are coming back.
Yeah, but again, y'all, the WTF team showed no matter how good your defense is, if your offense can't do nothing, your defense is going to get tired and you're going to lose games.
And that game, that playoff game we lost because of defense, not because of offense. Thank you very much.
Whatever. You're only there because of your defense. So
I agree with you.
No, they're only there because the Eagles just decided to tank on the game.
Yeah, that too. Bastards.
I agree.
So it's definitely going to be interesting, but I don't know that this returns them back to where they were. So,
I'm not saying returns.
No, I know what I'm saying. It's contenders. I don't think it makes them contenders, not even for their division, in my opinion. All right. So let's move on to the WTF team signed Ryan Fitzpatrick to a 1-year, $10 million deal. What do you guys think? Good signing, bad signing? What? I'll go. I think it's a good signing for them. Alex Smith, Fitzpatrick. When Fitzpatrick is on, he can make you guys a dangerous team. But when he's off, your defense is going to be on the field a lot. So, but again, you had nothing once Alex Smith left. Heineken,
Heineken, the big guy.
Whatever. Heineken, stop trying to crown him off of one playoff game. The dude is the game is above him right now. He still had a whole lot to learn. And then what's the other one's name? That came from Allen.
Allen.
Kyle Allen, yeah. I still don't know about him. He got hurt. Obviously, Fitzpatrick is going to be your starter. He's going to be your gap guy. You'll probably take somebody in the draft, I would assume. So that means that Heineken or Allen's not going to be there, most likely, because you guys are probably going to take a quarterback, semi high or whatever. So I think it's a good signing for you guys. Brian, what do you think? I mean, it doesn't. Oh, one more thing. It doesn't scare me because Dallas still has the best quarterback in the NFC East right now. Brian, what you think?
I think that Biggie spelled tragic wrong.
Fitz tragic.
You wasn't saying that when you first got signed. Don't try to front now.
He's a WTF guy.
Hey, look, point blank period. He's a backup. So you got 3 backups as starters. So good luck with that. If y'all win any games again, I think it's going to be on the defense. I think if anything, that Fitzmagic is going to make your defense work harder because he's going to throw more pick sixes than Alex Smith would. So you better get that running game going, and you better not let him stay in the ball. I better not let him throw the ball a lot because he's going to turn into tragic. History shows he gives you about 3 or 4 good games, and then after that, he turns into a pumpkin. So good luck with that. I'm not worried.
Mark, what you think?
I think it was a good signing for the WTF team. Looking at what they had faced with.
Wait, what'd you say? Don't let them influence you like that, Mark.
Okay, the Washington team. Okay, how about that? The Washington team. I thought it was a pretty good deal compared to what Alex Smith was out there. I mean, look, it showed it in the playoffs. You were limited in what you could do with Alex Smith. You didn't want to roll him out there with the possibility of him getting hurt again, and he'll really be on the tag for that team for paying him the quarterback. So you had to. It'd be interesting to find out what they're going to do in the draft, though, if they're going to draft a young quarterback. But I think it was a smart move. I think it was a pretty good move for him. You at least give him half the wins at least with Fitzpatrick. With them compared to Heineke. So you roll him out there, see what you can do, and let's go with it.
Oh, Marcus, sorry.
So yeah, I'm.
He knew he was next. Everybody else had already went.
Well, I was giving you a chance to be a host. Okay. So I'm definitely happy about it. I was definitely shocked, surprised that happened. I believe one of y'all said I think he'll definitely be the starter. If it wasn't for him, I was hoping Heineke, but he'll definitely be the starter. And I can't argue with Brian. I think he'll get 3 games. I think he's good for maybe half a season. Get his half a season, but after that, I don't know. But I think that half a season will be a great half a season. I have all the faith in him while he's on his in the Fitzmagic stage instead of the Fitz tragic stage. He's going to light somebody up. He's going to light somebody up. I don't know who it is. I got to look at. I don't know. I think the schedule yet.
Giants.
He's going to light. I don't know if the Cowboys defense the same as it was last year. He'll like.
Yes, now we got a new defense coordinator, sir.
Yeah, it won't be.
Well, I'm just saying, he's going to light some people up. But yeah, I'm happy with the signing. I was pleasantly surprised. He might be. I believe he might probably is a gateway quarterback. Of course he's a gateway quarterback. They're probably going to draft somebody. I was looking at quarterbacks now. I'm not sure even where he picked. I got to look at where he picked, but I'm happy with the signing. I don't see any problems with it. I don't expect no Super Bowl, but I think we'll have a better record than we had last year, which ain't hard to do.
WTF team picks 19th.
Yeah, so we'll have a better record than we did, like I said, last year, and I'm happy. I got no complaints. I mean, if we just dealing with free agent quarterbacks.
Why is Brian laughing?
Are you laughing because
You
the dog
know what
barking?
I'm laughing at.
Whose dog is that? Is that your dog? Huh?
I think
we have some quality control on this show or what?
Hey, look.
I think only one person
People
in here
saying
has
hi
a
while we
dog.
doing the show.
When he barks, yeah, he barks.
Mark, tell your kids to come down and say hi.
He letting me know something's going on upstairs.
I don't know, but like Big Red said, and it was either in the group or in the group. Look out for Kyle Trask as a quarterback from Florida. So that might be somebody to look out for the watch football team might draft. So we'll see. But I'm overall I'm very happy with the signing. Like I said, I think we'll have a better record than we did last year. So
okay. All right. So I mean, we just talked a lot about teams doing different things in free agency. So I pose this question: are free agents really worth the money that teams spend on them? And do you think it really improves your team in the long run? Is it short term? Just what's your opinions on free agency? Like, is it worth it? I guess is the question. Brian, Marcus, go ahead. You want to start?
Well, this is a long time ago, but ask the Green Bay Packers when they signed what's the dude's Reggie
White.
Reggie White. It was worth it for them. I mean, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, we talked. Yeah,
I mean, I guess it all depends on the result.
Free agency started.
Yeah, I was from restart. I mean, I guess it all depends. I mean, to be honest with you, it's all hit or miss. The draft is hit or miss. For all these draft experts and all these so-called football experts, it's always hit or miss. Let's not forget that. What's that dude's name? Ryan Leaf. He got Peyton Manning got drafted number 1, right? Then
Ryan Leaf was number 2.
I mean, and let's look at what was it, RG3 and
well, y'all messed him up. So
Andrew Luck, neither one. Even though Andrew Luck,
but those are draft. We talking about free agents though. Those are draft.
But I'm just saying overall, it's all hit or miss. To me, it's hit or miss. It depends on who you get. I mean, you can say I'm gonna get this veteran player who's done all that. And sometimes it just doesn't work out. I mean, Washington football team know all about that. I mean, what they said, signed Howard Haynesworth and a bunch of people, and but it all depends. It's hit or miss. I mean, of course, there have been some great free agent signs. I can't think of none right now except for Reggie Wayne, but I mean, Deion, that was a long time ago too, though. I mean, not when the Washington football team signed him, but when the Cowboys signed him and when the 49ers signed him. So it's hit or miss. That's my take on it. It's very hit or miss. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think it comes down to knowing what you should and shouldn't spend, and being smart enough not to get into a bidding war for any player's services. Even though you can finagle and move your cap stuff and do this and that to your cap, it does catch up to you at some point. And you just have to be careful, when you sign a free agent. Is this a guy who's just coming in for 2-3 years to fill a gap, or is this somebody who you're going to get for 4 or 5 years? And he's a long-term approach for the team. So sometimes I think it's definitely not worth it it's not worth it more than it is worth it, I think, in my opinion. But I guess it's just part of the business. So, the teams who navigate it successfully, like, you can either be too aggressive or too cheap. When you find that middle ground and you navigate it properly, I think that's when it works out for your team. And like Marcus said, it's hit or miss. 1 year you can have a great year. Next year you might not, So it's all about your approach and where you want to be with it, I guess. So, Mark.
Yeah, I got a list of like 5 of the top early. I think early in the free agency when he first started out, you saw more players really make a real true difference on the team. I think recently the only one we can talk about right now that had the biggest turnaround was last year with Tom Brady. But like Marcus touched on earlier, Reggie White was probably the biggest one in my book. In '93, he went from Philly to Green Bay, and he brought them a Lombardi back to Green Bay, which I thought was great. The second one to me was Drew Brees in 2006.
Yeah,
he went from San Diego to New Orleans, and within 4 years, he got them a Super Bowl. So that was big. The other third one was Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning went from Indianapolis to Denver, and he came off the first year. He was the comeback player of the year the first year. Remember, he had the neck injury and all. He came back and played. Right after that, he got him MVP in the Super Bowl. So Peyton was up there. Fourth is Deion Sanders. What can I say? Atlanta, San Francisco, Super Bowl. San Francisco to Dallas, Super Bowl. He was up there. My third one, my favorite Martian, Curtis Martin. When back in 1998, he went from New England to the Jets. He made a very impactful difference for the Jets for that first year. They went to the AFC Championship that first year. So I think early it pans out early in this. I'm going to name a couple of ones that didn't do too well.
Okay, before you said, a lot of them players you just named were Hall of Fame players, so of course that's
true. True. But they were signed as they went on as free agents. We talking about whether or not the free agents work. I said of lately, it really hasn't been that great impactful. But earlier in the free agency, it had been. Correct?
Yeah.
I would say so, yeah.
Now, a couple of notes.
You missed Marshall. I'm surprised Marshall Faulk didn't end up in your list.
Oh, yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
He was a big one, yeah. Went from Indianapolis to the
and what about didn't Jerome Bettis, wasn't he?
Bettis was another one. He was another one. He was up, but of course, Steelers, yeah, of course. A couple of name ones that didn't do too well. Albert Haynesworth, Adam Archuleta, Alvin Harper, Larry Brown, Dana Stubblefield, and Scott Mitchell.
Dana Stubblefield, wow.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Hall of Fame. What's that? Bruce. When he came to the Washington. Bruce Smith.
He was on a decline.
Jason Taylor
Came to y'all.
Yeah, Jason Taylor.
They were all in decline.
Oh, how about Tony Gonzalez?
Oh, yeah.
To the Falcons, yep.
Yeah. He definitely made a difference there.
Yeah.
But they still didn't win anything.
But he didn't win anything in Kansas City either, so it don't matter.
Yeah, he was impactful though. Definitely
impactful. He definitely made a big difference.
What was the defensive end that was with the Vikings?
Oh man,
he came from Kansas City and he went to the Vikings.
You talking about back in the day when Moss was first? You talking about the crazy dude with the eye paint?
Yeah.
Nah,
well, no. It was a white guy. It was a white guy.
He didn't. The cowboy.
Matt Flynn.
Dang it.
Yeah.
No.
Oh man.
No, I'm talking. What?
I know exactly.
I got his picture, but I can't think
of his name.
Yeah,
I know exactly.
Yeah, he was pretty impactful when he left because he was a very high sought after free agent that year.
He sure was.
The Minnesota guy.
So I just saw breaking news on Bleacher Report. Dallas signed the free safety Jerron Kirk.
You don't seem too happy about that.
I'm not. They picked the sorriest safety out of the three that they hosted today.
Hey, you all get Neal, didn't y'all? Didn't you get it from Atlanta?
Yeah.
He's playing. But he's more of a hybrid. He's like a linebacker.
He's a full free. He's a
Jared Allen. Jared Allen.
Jared Allen.
Yeah, Jared Allen.
Thank you.
So that's that. But all right, Brian, you went? Yeah, you went.
Yeah. For me, I like free agency. I think it is a good thing. It is. You have to. Free agency, I feel, is more for the teams that just need a piece or two to, get to that next level.
Yeah,
I don't think you can use free agency to get a whole team and try to fill all your holes. I think you really need to get that. Well, I mean, that team was set. They just needed a quarterback.
I know.
Oh, okay, Dan.
I know.
So
I know.
So I think that as long as you have,
we need one of them, not that dude. Go ahead.
I think that if you get that right player in that one position that you need, that hurt you. I think you can be successful. Again, you don't overspend. You plan it out and you go accordingly. But you can't feel the whole team, trying to go through that. You need to have the core of your team from the people that you drafted. So
and
the
team needs to know that. That's the key to it too. They need to know we're a piece or two away, not trying to build the whole team in free agency. Yeah. So.
Right. And a lot of times the biggest free agent that transfer, it's rare, that they make that much of an impact. So like wide receivers, you're only getting so much out of them, but they're spending way too much money on them, so.
And this year, a lot of the players took 1-year deals because they're trying to cash in next year.
Right.
That future money when the league gets back to normal. So we'll see. I mean, it's like teams may not have overspent this year because a lot of people was doing 1 year deals.
We forgot about Joe Flacco.
Oh yeah, he signed with the
Eagles.
The Eagles.
We brought that up, didn't we? Did we brought that up?
No, we didn't.
Oh no.
No, we didn't.
Quarterback controversy in Philadelphia?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, he's there to teach.
Just like it was a controversy with the Jets. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It's a controversy.
He's there to teach. That's all that is. So. All right, so we're going to touch slightly on this last topic. It's been the most controversial news in the NFL over the last couple weeks. Before we get into this, I'm going to say this. Sexual assault allegations are very serious and is a very serious topic. And women who are true victims of sexual assault should definitely come forward and report it. They should tell their stories, and they should not be left in the dark to be alone and to deal with that. Okay. And with that being said, the accused also have the right to be found guilty before they're prosecuted and canceled in today's society and in today's culture. So what we're talking about, of course, is the Deshaun Watson stuff that's coming out now. We're talking about a lawyer who's come forward and he has at least 14 pending lawsuits against Deshaun Jackson for Deshaun Watson. I always say that.
It's up to 20 now.
Is it up to 20? Okay.
It was like 22.
Allegations of misconduct by him, sexual misconduct by him. And it's sad on both sides of this. Because if he is truly guilty and a sexual predator that they're making him out to be, then of course he needs to be dealt with. And at the same time, if he's not, and these allegations are more about the money or whatever, have ulterior motives, then he'll never recover from this. It's just an ugly situation that's going on in the NFL right now. You guys can chime in however you want.
I think it's a kind of sad state of affairs at this point. It bothers me just because of the timing of everything. Some of the coincidences we talked about with this lawyer possibly being affiliated with the owner of the Texans. It's curious to me that there were there may be now, but initially there were no actual charges against Deshaun. This is all criminal charges, just all these civil charges that all of a sudden all of these women are coming forward, at this particular time. Again, like Herman said, if this comes out to be the light, then then everything that the legal system can do to Deshaun, he deserves, because if he did it, he should pay the crime. But it just doesn't feel right to me right now, and it just doesn't seem like that particular person. I hope that when all this is all said and done, that Deshaun is exonerated from all these accusations. But it just kind of feels more like a something that this particular lawyer came up with and is trying to use to, make Deshaun look bad, because of the Texans and his issue with not wanting to play with that particular team. You never heard anything like this before about Deshaun's character at all, not even in college or anything. So, I hope that it works out in his favor. But if it doesn't, if it proves to be true, then then the court system should treat him like everyone else.
Mark.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sad state. To have a man's character dragged out like this is not good, and for the women too. If this is truly to be the case, it's not right. I don't think nobody really wins in this whole scenario, to be honest with you. But it's just a sense of time on how this all comes out that kind of just has me a little bit unsettled. It kind of feels like it is a witch hunt, and I just gotta reserve my take on it until I find out what all the facts are, what all the truth is about this whole story. So I just hope this all ain't true. That's all.
Mark.
I mean, like like a lot of you guys already said, well, first of all, let me reiterate what Herman said. Victims of sexual assault deserve to be heard, deserve to be brought into the light, had their story told, and and was also the same. People being accused of sexual assault also need to have a day in court, and also deserve to be heard. It's very unfortunate. As a lot of people know, Deshaun's like one of my favorite quarterbacks. Up until Mahomes came into the league, he was my favorite quarterback. I saw him. I followed him in college. I saw him playing in Clemson. And like you guys already said, the timing is very, very weird. If this is a conspiracy by the Texans, I mean, y'all are some very shady people. Some very shady people to try to put us out. To get him to play for a team, to play for y'all. I know he doesn't want to play for y'all. Also, iterate on what Brian said. It's just very odd. There was nothing, there wasn't a hint of this before. Not through college, not. This is his first time been in the NFL. I forgot how many years he's been, but this is the first time we ever heard of any of this. And
he's been in like 4 years. He just finished his. He was at the end of his rookie deal when he got that big deal. So
it's kind of hard to believe that if you did it, that many 20 some times now that all of a sudden you just started. I would figure that would be a ongoing lifetime thing. I mean, you figure because if you think about it, you figure it's that elitist athlete attitude that would get him in a situation like this. He's been an elitist athlete. Probably people have been catering to him since he was in high school. So it's hard to believe that now would be the first accusation. Of course, now he got way more money. He can do a lot more things he did before. But still, it's just hard to believe that this comes out. Never heard it before. I mean, before the show went on, we was talking. We was making reference to the Bill Cosby case. How so many people came forward then, but Bill Cosby had been rumored to be doing that for years. That wasn't, it just didn't pop up one day and all of a sudden he was a sexual predator. But it seems like that's what's happened with Deshaun. Just one day he's a salt of the earth, a great guy, and then so the next minute he's a sexual predator. Like I said, I just want to reserve, my judgment until we see how this plays out. For every but no matter how it plays out, guilty or not guilty, his reputation has been tarnished, and it's going to be hard to recover from this. I hate to believe it about a guy a guy like him. He's somebody I looked up to and thought he was a great guy. So it's just very sad to see. So like I said, I'm just going to reserve judgment, see how it plays out, and it's just not good. No matter how it turns out, it's not good at all for anybody involved.
Yeah. So I mean, same thing. I just reserve judgment, and the last thing I will say is, like Marcus said, no matter how this turns out, it's bad for the victims if there's really victims, or it's bad for Deshaun, and nobody's life that's involved in this right now will be the same. So that's just where it is. unfortunate, but that's where it is. So that's pretty much all the topics we wanted to talk about this week. Let's get into our final thoughts. Don't forget, we'll be back. Well, I'll let Marcus, do all that. But I forgot, he does produce something. But NFL draft is coming up, people. Getting excited.
Getting excited. Like another two, right, Herman?
Yeah. Getting excited. So, Brian, why don't you hit us with your final thought?
I don't have one.
Really?
I was only going to say my name first, so I could think of something.
Well, if you looked at
everybody
the rundown,
be safe. If you got the COVID vaccine, I will choose the but besides that, everybody be safe and continue to wear your mask, even though you got the shot.
Oh, Dag, I was supposed to actually start with Mark. I'm sorry, Mark.
Yeah, we're still in the Women's Month for March. So if you get a chance to celebrate the woman of your life, do that and for their great achievements. So continue on supporting the women. That's all.
You hear that, Marcus?
You about to get canceled, bro.
So yeah, my final thought is like Eric, I always say it, stay safe. I will say this for those of you thinking about getting the vaccine. I have had my first shot. I had minor side effects. I've had a couple family members who've had their shots and they've had minor side effects. So
they all turned to zombies and ate somebody's brain. That's what happened.
Yeah, I'm going for Brian's brain first already. I keep telling y'all that.
It's a really small brain. You don't want that brain.
It's an appetizer. But it's your choice. That's the thing about the viruses. It's your choice. And everybody should respect whether you choose to take it or whether you don't. It's up to you. But continue to wear your mask. Be safe. We're not out of this yet. We're getting close. Let's not screw it up so that we go backwards. That's pretty much it. Marcus?
I don't really have anything serious to say, but if y'all ain't caught that Zack Snyder's Justice League yet, definitely check that out.
Definitely check that out.
That joint was fire.
Brian.
Even though it's 4 hours, it don't feel like it.
You can watch it in two parts.
And it's not a kiddies movie. It's not a kiddies movie.
It is rated R.
It's rated R. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, we appreciate everybody dropping by, hanging out with us on a Wednesday. We will see you in 2 weeks. Same back. Hold on. First of all, let me get out this. Catch us on Facebook. Catch us on YouTube. Be sure you like, share, and subscribe. Comment on the videos. We appreciate everybody doing that. Catch us on Facebook and our Facebook group, The Lead Game. You can also catch us on Twitter at The Lead Game 3. And you can also catch us on Instagram at The Official The Lead Game. When the last time that been updated, Herman? Probably
don't worry, because it will be coming up real soon. Instagram Live. We will be live. Instagram will have pictures. Instagram.
Because apparently there's not going to be a Facebook watch party after the 16th of April.
Really? So that watch parties are done?
Watch parties are done.
Wow. So, but Instagram Live will pick up steam coming soon.
Yeah, so be sure you go over there at the official Lead Game and follow us. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace. We out.
Peace.